Harlan's through, he may go for it, still going, trying to barge his way through, goes to the spot, what a goal!
Arriving Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score now we're looking for.
Connor Turbin kicks this one in, that's absolutely superb.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. You're very welcome to our preview show, and we are looking ahead to the start of the senior and intermediate championships coming up this week. We have games across Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and there's plenty to look forward to, and I'm delighted to be joined by Tommy Coleman, and he's going to help me preview all the action this week. Tommy, I suppose before we get into the games and the talking points, the club championship season, I know it's my favourite part of the year, and I'm sure you're looking forward to it as much as I am.
Okay, I love it. It's it just brings the whole buzz back around again. It's been such a great year, with the county getting such a good run, and the interest that's all generated now. Everybody's looking to see the county players, and this, I'll be expecting bigger crowds now at the club championship. It's really put a whole lot into it. But again, will we see as many as we hope to see over the coming weeks? Because it's been a real long season, and I think it's probably took its toll on some of the players, and it'll be interesting to see just what way they've come out of such a hard season, and bringing so much joy to the county and to us. We thought, probably a lot of us at my age anyway, not so much your age now, Sean, but my age, we thought we might never see it again, and it was just a joy to behold. And that it's inspired a whole new generation, and it just get on there and get to, hopefully we'll get to see all these players at the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get seeing most of them anyway. I know there's still a few of them on holidays and maybe enjoying the celebrations, and you can't blame them. But looking ahead to the senior championship, Tommy, we'll just go through it group by group here. So we'll start with Group A. We have, in my opinion anyway, this is the group of death. This is the most interesting group. We have Cullyhanna, Cleavey, Culleaville and Silverbridge. It's Cullyhanna and Cleavey on Friday night, and then Friday night Culleaville and Silverbridge playing as well. But we'll start with Cullyhanna one. And I suppose, Tommy, with Cullyhanna, I know you were with Cleavey last year, and we'll touch on them soon, but Cullyhanna, they have the massive bounce of coming up from the intermediate. They're the All-Ireland champions. They have welcomed another 3 All-Ireland champions into their panel in the last couple of weeks, with Ross, Aidan and Jason coming back. Do you see them as a top contender here? Or I don't want to be glancing over the first round. There's a lot of football to be played, but I think there's a lot of talk about Cullyhanna. Are they a top contender for you, or how do you see them going?
But you have Cian McKeever out there too. He'll be lapping about in some shape or form. I'm sure. That's the big, these are the real. That's the big question. People talk about our fancies and all for the championship this year. This is the team that we're all looking at to see how they make the jump. If you go to me, if you come in a provincial and then go on and win a national title, to me, there's no reason why you can't make that jump. They're a team that's, quality from the fence right through the whole team. Getting all their players back, their problems, boys going away and walking away from home. And they've got all that back, got the lads all fit again, and the county will be a massive boost from, Aidan and Jason Duffy, super footballers. But I think Ross McQuillan to me is something else when he gets his head around it all and plays football. He's as fine as a footballer as there is in Armagh. I've always thought that about him, and if they can get that there right again, I'm sure that they're massively hungry, to build on last year and to have a real good shake at this. I think that they have to be in the mix, and when you're talking about potential championship winners, they have to come into they definitely have to come into the conversation.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Tom, because I think a lot of the attention probably goes on the county men on that, but I think their club players, their Pierce Casey's, their Mickey Murray's, Shea Hoey, Sean Connells, they're as good a club players as there is in the county too.
They showed it last year. You know, Casey and Collins were superb for them right throughout the whole championship. Like, and they're seasoned players. You know, they're good. To be honest, they probably are county players just not playing county football. That's the bottom line about them. Magnificent management team. Everything that they have, you know, you have to admire. I was just delighted for them last year, seeing them go up the steps of Croke Park and lifting that intermediate championship. And what a boost! It was a great boost for all of us in Armagh too, to say, you know, that football finally we got ourselves up and running again, you know, in the provincial series and then onto the national stage again, and give us all a lift and give us a great lift, you know, for the county team as well. These players here are just quality. They're quality players. They're seasoned players. They have a load of experience. They're bound to build on what they've done last year. They've come in. They've probably after such a late season and then coming in early into their league campaign. You know, you carrying knocks, bit of tiredness. You know that they'd had to manage that where they wouldn't have been going at full tilt through that league campaign, and they were able to coach their way through 1B fine and, you know, finish a top 4 finish. I'm sure they're more than satisfied with that there, just to get that consolidated down the road this year. And now they'll turn, as I said, they'll turn all the energy into the championship here this week, and I expect them to do really well this year.
Obviously, as I'd mentioned, they've home advantage on Friday night against Clevie. I think it's a 7:15 throw, and this one's live on Armagh TV too. As I mentioned, you were with Clevie last year, Tommy, and I know you obviously know the team really well, but Conor O'Neill's obviously going to be missing throughout the rest of the campaign. He picked up a ruptured Achilles playing for Armagh this year. So I suppose tell us how you see Clevie doing this year, and tell us how big of a miss Conor O'Neill's going to be for the campaign.
Well, Conor will be a huge miss. You know, he only actually played one of the championship matches for us last year. He picked up the injury and he didn't play in the lab. He didn't play against Hughes that day, yeah. And then he played against the Clans. So he didn't play a big lot for them. For me, Kieran O'Hanlon could be I don't know where Kieran's at. Kieran's at married. Is he away on honeymoon? Is he back? And, you know, I think Kieran to be for up front, because where Conor will be in defence, when Clevie get all their players back, defensively, Clevie's sound. Clevie has a world and depth of defenders. It's up front where the players can be, you know, where they really need that there wee bit of quality. And Kieran gives that. Now, as I say, I don't know where Kieran's at the moment. I know he only got married there a couple of weeks ago. Is he away on honeymoon? Is he back? I'm not too sure about that, but I also know that there's a few of the lads were in America, and they're only coming home. I think they're only home this week, late end of this week. So what way will they be up for selection or not this week or not? I don't know either. But, you know, for me, if Clevie are to get a run this year, they're certainly going to need Kieran O'Hanlon, and Kieran O'Hanlon going well for them.
Yeah, he's the main man, isn't he, Tommy? I don't know, he did play a lot of league football and that. So as you were saying, he got married recently, and I don't know what his situation is at the minute, if he's on honeymoon or what the story is, but he'll be a big boost if he's there on Friday night. And just in this group as well, Tommy Cullerville and Silverbridge also on Friday night. Now, I think that Cullerville are starting the campaign anyway without Colin Waters and Niall Rowland. I think they're both injured, while Silverbridge obviously coming third in Division 1A. They're going into this championship on a high. So I think even though Cullerville have home advantage, just missing them their two best players and their two most experienced players, Tommy, it's a big blow for Donny Hughes and for Cullerville.
It is, yes, and you know it was always going to be a tough task anyway. But without them, the two lads, you know, Waters has been his main scorer for quite a number of years there for him. He's always there on the scoreboard. Niall drives them on from defence there, and, you know, his runs, sets up so many attacks. You know, for them two boys not to be playing is going to be massive. And as you say, Silverbridge is the team that's on the up, and they're another team, you know, we can talk about longer down the line or possible outside chances here of, you know, people's dark horses for actually winning the championship. I suppose when you look at it, I know we got a bit of a side hit there, just to throw it in. With when Jarvis took over the presidency, did he ever think that he was going to hand the trophy over to Armagh? So I'm saying to myself, he's took over the presidency. Well, is there a case for Silverbridge here taking the Jerry Fagan as well? So it's these things do come in twos and threes. I suppose Jonathan, I know if he's listening, he'd be happy. He'd be happy to see it very much coming down the road. So you don't know. I've watched Silverbridge a couple of times this year, and they were very good. Especially, I watched the game up in Silverbridge. We're probably, they prefer to say that we're fortunate that night not to beat Clonard. They played some lovely football, and they still all that the mainstays there. Gallagher still driving them on real. Them lads, great footballers. Jamie Morton and all one. So these lads have been around for a while. They're coming now to the time where they're going to have to start to stand up and say, right, we're really in here with the challenge. Come up into 1A. That was a great first season for them at 1A. To finish, as you said, to finish in third spot, top 4 place. That's where everybody wants to be when you're there. You want to get into the top 4. And I think it's been a magnificent year for them. And they could go far. I like Cullyhanna in this here, and she said this is a real tough group, but they could be big contenders as well.
And Tommy, we usually do our predictions for every game, but I'm just going to mix it up because it's the first week. We'll predict our group winners. So Group A is some group to start with, because there's no obvious contender like you have. We maybe built up Cullyhanna a wee bit too much there, and we don't know what teams are like with injuries, and even county men coming back maybe with niggles and a couple of weeks celebrating under their belts. We don't know how they're going to be, but I think I'm going to go for Cullyhanna to top Group A, and it's probably going to be every game in that group's going to be an absolute dogfight. So I think I'm just going to go with Cullyhanna to top it. Who are you going with?
Is Cullyhanna at home to Silverbridge as well? Is that up there as well?
Yeah, they're at home to Silverbridge.
I'm going to go for Cullyhanna as well, even though I know it's Silverbridge. It won't be far away either, and regardless of who tops the group, I think that both these teams will have a big say in the championship this year. I think they're both been set for real good runs in it, So regardless, as I say, who tops it, I think the two of them will go forward.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Moving on to Group B, then Tommy will have we'll have Cross, Clans, Sarsfields, and Grainmore. Obviously a repeat of last year's final and the 2022 final coming up in the coming weeks. But we'll start with Sarsfields and Grainmore here. This is, I suppose, both teams were relegated, but in different circumstances. Sarsfields were relegated with 2 or 3 games left in the league, and just sort of bleakly saw out the year. While Grainmore, I think they were relegated maybe with a couple of games left, but they actually won their last 3 games. So while it hasn't been a great year for Grainmore, they're coming into this game with momentum. So I suppose it's hard to weigh up where these two teams are. Sarsfield's notoriously difficult to beat on down in Sarsfields too, and they have home advantage on Saturday evening. So that's probably a tough one to know where both teams are at.
Yeah, well, I watched when I did that game last year, Sarsfields played Mullabon, and Mullabon looked like they were going to coast the game, and Sarsfields just get back at them, and they got a couple of goals and played some great, just inspired them, just brought them up with huge momentum and went on to win that game. But the Sarsfields seemed to be it was starting to be an agent sort of a team, and they're going to struggle. And Grainmore's probably in a similar position, although they have brought in a few of the minors here this year, and they're building on them. But Grainmore is a resolute team, and they're tough. And I'd say for a lot of the matches that they lost this year, there was only about a point in it or 2 points. There wasn't that they were getting any hammering, and they're the only team to be a Clonard in the league this year as well. So there's these big performances in them, and they had a lot of injuries themselves. And as you know yourself, you're close up to Grainmore there. When Jason O'Neill's missing, that's a big factor for them, and if he had maybe been playing the whole season, them one or two, he's good for 3 or 4 points in any game. And now you could be still looking at a team instead of getting relegated, could have finished third or fourth from bottom, you know. So Greenmore for me, I think, you know, but just that wee bit maybe too cute and maybe too strong. And you know, Steffi will have them set up pretty defensively too, and going on the break. And you know, I think Steffi is a great young manager, and I think, you know, through the test of time will prove his worth. And he's no dozer already. So I think it hasn't set up well. And for me, I think Greenmore will just have that wee bit too much. As you said, from the Clonard match and that one on, they built up a huge momentum and wins and confidence, and that was just to get themselves going and set them up. I think at that stage they probably already accepted that they were going to be relegated, but them wins that brought them along lovely and brought them up to a new level for the championship. And I think they'll be going in there with trying to give it a real shot. And for me, I think they'll just have a wee bit too much for Sarsfields come Saturday.
This game, Tommy, is it because Clans and Cross are in this group, and we'll talk about them shortly, but this already at this early stage for Sarsfields and Greenmore, it's nearly a must-win, because if you lose this, you're heading in against Clans and Cross, and this is probably the target game for both Greenmore and Sarsfields to get that at least third spot and to remain in the championship.
Definitely. There's no doubt about it. The two teams will be looking and they'll be going and saying, right. Although Greenmore, the only thing for Greenmore is they'll have a thing at home. Then won't they? The
Clans at home, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, you know, Greenmore is one of the places where you don't want to really, you know, if you can avoid going to, you do, like. And I mean that to all the Greenmore people. I mean that with the greatest respect. You know, it's a difficult place to go to win. So they'll have that there in the back of the mind too. They'll have a lot of whole game. But you're right. This match, both these sides will say, well, if we're going to progress in this championship, this really is a must-win for us. I was at the Sarsfields Clans match last year, and up to about 15 minutes to go, Sarsfields were right in the melting pot, and, you know, were leading for long periods. And, you know, give away a couple of bad goals, and the Clans went on, and probably the scoreline flattered the Clans a wee bit on the night that night. But I just think that, you know, I think Sarsfields have went one way, and the, you know, Clans went the other way when it comes down to that there one. But for me, it's Greenmore this weekend. Yeah.
And then Clans and Cross, obviously, this is going to be Sarsfields Greenmore 5 o'clock Saturday live on Armagh TV. Sunday, Clans and Cross, a repeat of last year's final live on TG Cahir. And I just have a few notes written down here, Tommy. I was just thinking, like, last year's meeting, obviously, the group stage one, Shane McFarlane gets a goal and it's a draw. And it nearly felt like a win for Clans, because it was the dramatic circumstances at the end of the game and everything else. They were winning at half time of the county final last year, and just Cross just come out in the second half and sort of overpowered them. This is probably going to be a bigger game for Clans than it is for Cross, because probably no matter what happens, Cross is going to be in at least the last 4 anyway. But if Clans can get a win here, Tommy, that will do their confidence and everything else the world of good on this. It's their target in this game. That's going to be a huge game for them.
Yeah, well, I think Clans, you know, the Clans have, you know, they're probably starting the targets to get promoted to 1A, which they've done, you know. And, you know, 1B can be a tight enough one without your county players, as you well know. And to get out of there without Sigley and Shane is a massive achievement for them, I think, you know, because they have good young players there, but they'll have to learn their trade and learn quickly. And they've done well. They've done excellent to get into that there. And they'll take huge, you know, they'll be saying, they'll have a lot of confidence, the fact that they did get promoted. And to build on that there with the 2 lads coming in, that really gives them an awe. It really does. You know, some clubs with players coming in doesn't give you as much as the lift, but with the Clans, with them 2 lads, it really does. The belief that they have with them, and they bring another 10, 15, 20% out of everybody when they're there. The thing is, it's an early stage of the championship, and you really don't. If you lost your first match, you're sort of, you're under that wee bit of pressure after that. There, you have to get. You're looking to, we need to get this next one, no matter where you're for or where you're going. So for me, the Clans have the advantage of the 2 home games again, and this year, and to put that to their test. Cross, the players and the lads coming back now, and I'm not sure where James Morgan's at or where he's coming back or not. There's been various rumours that he is, and then I've heard that he's not. So, and you'll never hear anything out of Cross anyway until it actually happens. That's just the way it is. But I think that with the 2 O'Neills back in and Keane, I think they might just have a wee. I just think they'll have a wee bit too much for the Clans this year. Who knows? I thought last year Cross was just seeing out the game, and they got caught out on the end. But they're going to make. It'll not be easy. It'll be a tough one. The Clans. There's one thing about Clonagale. They'll believe that they'll be able to win it. I can assure you that they're now, and it'll not be for lack of belief. And I would say the talent's there now. I still think. I know they beat us last year in the semi-final. I think there's still a year or two just to be primed. But who knows on the night again? And it's the first round. And as we know, Cross McGlen historically don't sort of grow into the championship if the truth be told. And yeah, I suppose if there's going to be a surprise, the Clans could pip them on the night, like just could pip them, but you'd still have to favour Cross, like you would still have to favour them.
I think in terms of who's going to top the group, it's probably going to come down to this Clans Cross game, and as you say, there's going to be an upset. I'm going to go for Clans to top the group just to mix it up a wee bit here and mix the whole championship up. Cross having to do it the hard way and go through the playoffs maybe would be exciting come that stage of the competition. So I'm going Clans to top the group. Tommy, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to actually go for a Cross. I think Clans that Glenmore match could be a tough one for them too. So I'm going to go for Cross to top the group.
Yeah, I think that's probably the favourite. If you were going into the bookies, that's probably you would get short odds on Cross. But I'm trying to mix it up a wee bit, Tommy.
I know you are.
So we're not agreeing on everything.
We can't agree on everything. I suppose we're agreed on 2 already, but Silverbridge, I'd say would be favourites for the other one. We're both going for Cullyhanna, but I just want to go across. I just think they'll steady the ship and they'll improve it as they go along. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to stick with Cross on this one.
On Group C, then Tommy, we have Mahary and Modden. They're playing on Friday night, and we have St Peter's and Clonard as well there Saturday night. So starting with Mahary and Modden, I suppose the big talking point for this is the county men that's going to be playing, and obviously the 3 men coming back from Mahary, of Grimley and McMullen back from Modden. Two sides that are just going to be completely changed when they have the county men back. Their league form and championship form just going to be completely different because of the addition of the quality that they're going to have back now.
Yeah. Well, if they're back, Mahary definitely Mahary need them all back if they're going to. They've struggled throughout that league campaign. For playing them, they got their win at the end of the stay, their draw, enough points to stay up. But if they're going to progress or they're going to do anything in this group, they need the 3 boys. Again, there's rumours going around that Ben was away to Australia, but I don't think that's true. I think he will be there. I know Aidan is on holidays. I don't know why he's back or not. And Kieran, I think Kieran will be available all right. A couple of the club players who were injured earlier on during the year, I think they're coming back in. Young Rafferty is back in. So, and Robinson. So I think Mahary could be up this year. I know Madden have had a big, long injury list this year. And Niall and Dor will certainly give them a huge boost. I think Conor Grimley's back, but where is he back and where is he at? He was absolutely outstanding last year for Madden, and that was a cruel injury that he picked up at the start of the year. They thought he was going to be out all year. He's done well to come back, but where is he at when he comes back? And that'd be the big question mark there for me. I think there's still a couple of lads out on the Madden side from what I'm gathering. I don't want to say any names just yet because I don't want to turn out and make a fool of myself. But, two teams have struggled a wee bit for injuries, but these players coming back, Niall Grimley has been the go-to man for Madden for the last 10, 12 years. He's an absolute star, and he gives them such a lift. So it's vital that he's in it. And vice versa for Mahary. Them three lads is a massive injection for Mahary. And Dale will need the three of them if they're going to progress out of this here group.
I think I'm not getting to this game on Friday night, Tommy, but Creeley and Grimley going up against each other, partners, All-Ireland winning partners, suddenly in 2 or 3 weeks, they're knocking 7 shades or whatever out of each other to try to win a championship game.
Yeah, they're the one tussle that can't be avoided. We get all these zone markings all around the place now, and them battles that you've seen where your Francie Bellews against Crosgroves and O'Shea or whoever it was up there. It's them days seem to be gone, but this one here will not be gone on Friday night. They'll have to clash. The two of them's playing out of their skin. Brilliant. Both of them brilliant. One of the two could be both nominated, and one of them could get an All-Star here this year. Along with Conway, so it'll be a brilliant tussle. So absolutely, it's one to look forward to. So Mary's not an easy place to go to. That's we've all found out there right over the years. And as I said, it'll depend on how much they recovered. Like I know the night I went over to Mahary to do a wee thing for them, and the boys out that night that they were 30 years of age were making their senior debut. That's how thin on the ground that they were, and then they were able to get a few boys back the following week to play and got the result they needed against Colville to keep them up. So I don't know where they're at with all them players, but they certainly, for the strength, they don't have the strength and depth. So they will need all them if they're going to beat Madden.
And St. Peter's Planner, and then Tommy, obviously this was a highly anticipated game last year, and in truth it was over very, very early. I think Turbo scored maybe 5 or 6 points in the opening quarter, and it just sort of the game faded out. I think 15 points in it last year. I don't think we're going to see the same. I still think Clonard's too strong, but I don't think it's going to be as big a margin this time.
Well, just to keep up being a bore, I'm going to agree with you again there. Peters have they played this year. They've been more conservative in the way that they've played. Throughout the league campaign. When you look at the scores, they haven't been putting big score lines up. So they've been playing a lot behind the ball. I think they learned the lessons from last year, and I've been very friendly with a lot of the Peters lads, and they were sorely disappointed, and as a club, the whole club, and the fact that there wasn't even really a glove laid on Clonard last year, was very hard for them to take. They're a very proud club, very good club, and they love their football, and I think there'll be a totally different thing this week. I think that what we'll have is a case of 13, 14 behind the ball, and they'll push, they'll hurry, they'll work, because as you said, they sort of went man to man last year, and Turbo had the game over in 15. It was over in 15 minutes, and Planner just played in second or third gear. That was it. It was there was no other explanation for it. And anybody, at one stage, I was actually feeling sorry for the Peters. That's how bad it was. It was awful. But I anticipate a totally different game this year. I think they'll really put it up to Clonard. They'll work hard. Turbo, again, if Turbo plays again, I don't know. I don't know what Turbo will be playing. As I say, these boys are coming out of hard seasons with the county, Cambridge, TK. If them three are playing, it's a massive injection into the team. But Clonard has a massive squad there, as you know, and went through the league comfortably and blooded a lot of young fellas there this year. And as I said, won the league title again. I know the league doesn't count for a whole lot, but it just shows you that what they're able to cope with when they don't have the players. Like just one night, I was looking at the team. I started counting, and there were 7 or 8. I thought nailed on starters, not playing, and we're still winning the game comfortably. So I think the depth that we have at the moment, I think we might be just too much for the Peters, and I do think it'll be a lot tighter than last year. It could go down to a 4 or 5 point game, and that's where I would see it. But I can't see anything other than a Clonard win.
Yeah, and I'm on the same line as you, Tommy. I think that's pretty much where I am. 4, 5, 6 points maybe, but I don't see it stretching to 15 this year. And before we move on, Tom, just want to ask you about Shea Heffron. Obviously, he was your captain 3 years ago when you won the championship. John McGee's back as well. Scored I think 3 points against Clevie there in one of the last league games. 2 massive additions to have into that team, as well as the county men coming back. Everybody's coming back at the one time.
Yeah, so it's Shea. What do you say about Shea? Like, to me, the best in 2021, he was the best fullback in the county. And Shea is I suppose he's like Casey and Murray. I call it. He's a county man. He's a county player playing club football. That's what he is. He is an ex-county player, but he's still got that there quality about him. For a player of that experience to come in and you can play him. I don't know where he's going to play him, where you play him at full back, because Mihall's had a great year at full back as well for us. You play him at centre half, you can push him on up the field, around the middle if you need him. But he can play anywhere. What an asset to have. John McGee's back, and if he's fit and flying, John McGee on 2020, before he went out to teach, was flying for us, absolutely flying. And we played the year Mahary won it. We were playing Mahary that night, and John was he was out of this world, and he ended up got himself in a bit of a pickle, let's say, and got himself sent off and cost us the game. But he's a quality player. Obviously, he's 4 years older there, and he's left all that there behind him. He's more mature now, experienced, superb footballer. Like, John would have always been probably rated higher than what Daniel was on the way up, with Daniel there in the county squad. So you're talking about John as that their high quality of a player to come in, along with, you say, with the county men. And McGee's coming back from an injury. He was on the Sigerson team. The Don and Ratty will not be back yet. They're going to Canada, but I think they're back in the next couple of weeks. But for the defensive players that we have, we have Ryan Holmes. That's another one. I don't know why Ram's fit. Ram this last couple of league games as well, so I don't know why he's starting in that. So but we have so much strength and depth all over. We should have enough. But the two boys are Shea Heffron. He's such a leader, both on and off the field. He's just a great player, a great asset to have. And, and you can play him anywhere in that defence that you want.
I think we're both going for Clonard to top this group, Tommy. I think Clonard are probably my favourites for the championship at the minute, if everybody fit, and I don't see anybody stopping them in this group anyway. I think they're going to top the group.
Yeah, well, I do think Madden has always proved to be a difficult enough game for us. When it's come to crunch times. Well, we're supposed to beat them in the league when we're going for the league campaign. There, we beat them handy enough last year, but to me, they're that there would be the key game in that group. But yeah, it looks to me like Clonard definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Down to Group D then. This is our last senior game, and we have Ballymacnabb, Drummond, Mullabon on the Harps. And as usual, Tommy, I'll float into the background here and let you talk about the Nab game. I'll not quote too much on it, but I suppose just if I was a neutral looking at this game, the Nab won it last year in the same group last year against Drummond, 4-14 to 8 points. 3 of the goals came from the two Grugan brothers who aren't available anymore. Gav McFarlane chipped in with a couple of points. He's not there. Park, Gribben, Paul Megan also scored. They're not there. So I know myself, a massive turnover of players in Ballymacnabb this year, but they've obviously been relegated too. So coming in 4:30 on Sunday against Drummond this live on Armagh TV as well. How do you see this one going?
It's going to be hard to call. I think I'd prefer to say that both sides have had a poor enough season up to date, you know. As you say, I don't know where Rory's
Rory's
as well, like, and it's massive, like, you know. Rory's massive, you know, with such a player that he is, and he is a talisman. You know, he's the main man up there in Ballymacnabb. He pulls all the strings, and you know, it's going to be a very, very difficult task for him. You know, Ronan's in there this year. He hasn't had much luck between injuries and retirements and everything else. And I really do feel sorry for him. Drummond Hay, they'll have a wee bit of injection, I suppose, when Oran comes back in again. But they haven't had a good season by any stretch of the imagination. The fact that you're going to Ballymacnabb makes it more difficult for them. They have big rangy players, you know, in around the middle, the full forward, big lads. I suppose they'll play the big high ball long in. You know, it's hard to call. It really is hard to call. I probably edge towards Drummond T coming out of here on Saturday. Saturday, isn't it? Yeah.
It's Sunday.
Sunday. Just I feel that they just have the edge and no more. But I wouldn't surprise me the other way around if Ballymacnabb were to take out a result. It's just who can build up that momentum between, you know, get over the relegation thing. I think the fact that Drummond T, although they're relegated out of one end, but they're still going to be a senior championship team next year, whereas Ballymacnabb's had that body blow now again that they're going down and they're into intermediate unless they win the championship. And sometimes it's just hard just to get that built up again mentally. And I think Drummond T will just probably edge out their match.
And then the Mullabon Harps game, Tommy, it's live on Armagh TV as well. It's 6:30 on Sunday. It's a bit like we were talking about the Greenmore and Sarsfield's game. Ballymacnabb and Drummond T's maybe the game that, you know, whoever loses it is maybe going to lose their place in the championship. And Mullabon Harps, whoever wins it is probably going to go for that top spot. So this is, I think Mullabon. I just mentioned the players Ballymacnabb were missing all year. It's worth mentioning Mullabon have been missing Dackie Loy, Shay Loy, Owen McDonald, Patrick McAteer's away to America now. Eddie English was out injured a long time during the league, and they still won it and won it convincingly. So Mullabon, they're a team on the rise here, Tommy.
They are won the league. They've played well, and let's not forget they managed to beat us. 2 years ago, the year after we won the championship. They played really well. Kieran Grant dropping off, pulling the strings. You know, Lloyd and them boys were fantastic that night. They've obviously great forwards about them. You know, Eddie English was always a star in my opinion. You know, I always loved watching them playing. And the free scoring, obviously they must have tightened up defensively here as well to do what they've done. So, and then again, Harps have been very, very good as well. You know, they got themselves up, they got themselves into the top 4. I think it's the first time in a couple of years they've managed to do that. So Pascal probably last year took him to find his feet with them. But let's not forget, you know, they were kicking the ball from putting Crossmaglen out of the championship last year. Harps on their day are capable of really, you know, causing a big upset. They really are. And at the same time, where they can be really good, they can really go the opposite way as well and put in a real poor performance. Not even the middling, but they can go the other way. And that's the one thing I can never work out with the Harps. Because one day they can be so good, and the next day they can be so bad, and just they can't really find out their middle ground. So this match will be intriguing. This is for me, it's a real tough one to call out of all the games. And probably the first game that we done, Cullyhanna and Silver Bridge, these 2 matches were really, really tight. And because a team of both of them has had good league campaigns. So Mullabon were coming in with a load of confidence. Harps, they'll be happy. They'll be more than happy with a top 4 finish. They'll be looking at, they'll want to top the group and get themselves into that quarter final and be sitting there. So it's going to be a humdinger. Like, I really do. I don't. It's going to be a close one.
This is probably the toughest group to call, is it, Tommy? Is that for obviously Group A was nearly impossible to call.
For me, Group A is, I think Group A is the toughest for me.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I think that there's just a minefield, and the added in, it's all derbies. Every one of them's derbies.
Yeah.
So there'll be no quarter given or asked for. This group, we're going to look. It's going to be for this match. I am going to go for the Harps. I think the Harps will be looking at this and saying the opportunity themselves, saying, look, we get this one over, we can top the group here and get ourselves into the quarter final. And that would mean that we miss. Obviously, they'll be looking at what we're looking at here and saying we're going to miss Cross and we're going to miss Clonard, and that'll give us a chance to get one of the two of them into the semi-final. And I think that's the way Harps will be looking at this here, and it's a big game for them. So I'm gonna go with Harps to top the group.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say the Harps. I'm gonna make a second prediction. I'm gonna predict that Mullabon and Harps draw on Friday. So it's Sunday evening. So whoever's gonna top the group is gonna come down to the other 2 games against Ballincollig and Drummondine. I'm gonna throw an added wee just to mix it up there. Tommy, Harps and Mullabon to draw on Sunday, but I still think the Harps just have that wee bit extra quality above everybody else in that group. And as you said, Round Cross so close last year, and surely they're still reeling from that. I'm sure they're still disappointed from that they didn't see it out and get over the line.
Yeah, I think the war, the game was there, it was on, and just obviously the end was the kick out, and they were overturned, and it's one of them things. It's just because of the game either go to extra time, doesn't it? And it's just one of them. Just sometimes you just have to have that belief especially when you get in the cross, that you can get the head. You can have to just to push on that extra wee bit and be brave and go for the juggler and take the score to the point. And they're playing the way they are now. So if Cross is going to go, that's the stage to get them at. Probably the quarter final stage is probably your best opportunity. Because after that, they're really tuned in, and it's a hard task, to do. But I think Hearts will be saying themselves, as I said, they'll be looking at how close they were last year. So saying they should have beat them, and they should have beat them last year. And I just think that this is a massive opportunity. But the group that they've got to look at it and go, well, we can top our group. They'll be probably thinking Clonard will top theirs, Cross will top theirs. That'll give us we'll have a real good chance here getting into the semi-final and avoiding them 2 till the draw and see what happens after that there. So I think nailed on for me. I'm going to go for the Harps.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be their mindset, Tommy. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I'm agreeing with the Harps to top that group. In the intermediate championship then, Tommy, unfortunately, I don't know, we've spent maybe 40 minutes on the senior. We can't cover every game that's happening this week, so we'll maybe just run through the groups in the intermediate championship and how we see it going. So Group A, we've Tierno, Shane O'Neill's, Whitecross and St Paul's. Tierno and Shane O'Neill's is on Friday evening, 7:15, while Whitecross and St Paul's is Sunday at 1 o'clock. I suppose Shane O'Neill's St Paul's have been to the last couple of years. Obviously St Paul's have been knocking on the door. They haven't quite got there yet. Shane's have. They've won the championship 2 years ago and they're back down. But Kieran Mackin is obviously going to be a massive loss for Shane O'Neill's, and he's maybe just the difference in winning and losing the championship.
Yeah, I think so. I heard with everything you said there with Shane O'Neill's. Shane O'Neill's one that was probably the year before that. They were very unlucky to lose it, and then the following year they were very lucky to win it. St Paul's had it all but one, and then the last minute flick into the net, and it was real real sickener for St Paul's. But in fairness, the St Paul's had come back last year, got themselves into the final. But to me, they're probably the best intermediate team that there's been in Armagh for a long number of years, if not the best. And were well beaten on the day. So for me, I think Shane's will struggle without Kieran a bit, and I would go for St Paul's to top that group.
Just to mix it up a bit, I'll go with Shane's to top that group, but it's worth mentioning Tierno too with Oisín Condy back. Tommy, he's young player of the year territory. I think everybody will be surprised. I think Geezer even said in an interview he'd be shocked if he doesn't get young player of the year. The form he's coming back in to come in an intermediate club team on a Tierno team that have been starting to pick up. They've a few young boys coming through at the minute, all in around Condy's age, that have made the step up. A few minors, Paul Hendren, Aidan O'Connor coming up into the senior team as well. Condy coming into Tierno, he's a massive boost.
Okay, he is. He's a man. When he comes in, he's main man, and he'll do the scoring. But I think overall, what's Portadown this year when they played our intermediate team, and I wasn't overly impressed with them all at all. In fact, I was disappointed with them. But there are a lot of young players coming through. I just think that Shane's and St Paul's will have too much experience overall for them. Where Condy will have a huge impact in any of the games that he plays, because he's just a rare talent, and I think he's brilliant. And I said that there from the first day I've seen him, the pace that he has and where he runs, he'll scare the life out of defences. But people they'll have the best men on them, and some good out players in around St Paul's, or some good defenders. Same with Shane's. They'll probably double up on them, and they'll make life very, very difficult. But I think just that experience, them runs that these two teams have had, I think they'll be the top two, probably Portadown coming down, possibly in third. Whitecross, they'll be in there and in around the mix as well. So they will. So that'll be a huge battle in there for the third place.
Yeah, I think that group is going to be tough to call already. We've disagreed. I'm going with Shane's, you're going with St Paul's. Group B is going to be the exact same, Tommy, with Wolf Tones and Katie. It's Friday night at 7 o'clock live on Armagh TV, and on Saturday evening Cross Seconds take on Grange, and that's at 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. And Wolf Tones and Katie met in the group stages last year. They drew. And this Cross Seconds were also in that group last year, and both Tones and Katie beat them, so they'll be hoping to do that again. But I suppose Grange have had a really difficult year, relegated, but they still have that wee bit of class. They've beaten Rafferty coming back. I think Justin Cairns and Dara Mullen are both still in America, but they'll be back eventually. So I suppose this is a really tight group to call as well, Tommy.
Yeah. I thought Justin was home, but again, I think
he's way back out. He was home, and then he's way back out again.
Good to see Justin back and getting back this, to himself, and we're great to see him playing football again. I have to say that it was great the way he come out and he spoke, and I think these boys are all role models. We take like Soupy and Oisin McConnell and people like that who have had their own personal demons, and they've made that public and made it aware and made it good for people within our association, and especially our young people, to come out and not be afraid. There's always help out there. So I just wish Justy, I really do. I've always admired him as a footballer, and I really wish him all the best. But to get back to football, it's going to be a tough old campaign there. Grange, always difficult enough in the championship as well. I don't know where they are with the McKennas and whoever else who's always fit. You're always looking around to see it's the same old reliables in the Grange setup. Katie, on the other hand, I was very impressed with them last year. I'd say probably the best football match I watched last year was the semi-final of the Intermediate Championship when St Paul's played Katie. It was an absolute joy. We went up, me and the girls, and we couldn't get over it. We just said it was brilliant. It was end to end. It was great stuff. It was great football. really open and fast playing, and then the Tones are totally opposite. They're playing behind the ball, and they're walking up the field more methodically and slowly, and the more keep the possession. And Cross Agnes, they'll just go and they'll have a last shot. So they will, no matter what way it'll go. That's my fault. My phone starting today there. So I'm going to go cut it down and get out. I'm going to go on the basis of the way I like football playing. I'm going to go for Kerry.
Yeah, I think the Thomas Galvin, if he's available, I would be going Kerry, but I just don't know. He's with Dungannon Swifts at the minute, so possibly not going to be there. So I think if he's not there, I'm going to go with the Tones. But if he is there, I'll go with Kerry. I'll sit in the fence a wee bit on that one, tell me. But before your phone dies, we'll race through these other groups. Group C then. We have the league winners, obviously, in the Oaks. They go to Derrynoose on Sunday evening at Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. And with Clonmore and Onachmore, two neighbours, at 7 o'clock as well. So I think we're both looking at the Oaks here, while there's a couple of massive games going to be played before anything's finished in this group. I think the Oaks are the clear favourites to come out of it.
I think the Oaks are clear favourites, and probably, it would be the pick of any of us to go on, probably win it. They've been really going well this year season. For this group, I just say them coming out on top. Because who's going to come second or third with them,
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with that. And then Group D, with Blake and Carrick-Cruppen on Saturday evening, 7 o'clock, and then we'll have Clonard Seconds and Tullysarn 4 o'clock on Sunday. Blake and Carrick-Cruppen, just on this game, tell me this is probably going to come down to two men that aren't on the field. Callum O'Neill from Blake and Blaine Hughes from Carrick-Cruppen, two huge misses, and probably Callum for Blake. He's I'm not sure if he's going to miss the entire campaign or not, but I think he isn't going to be available this week, and he is the difference for Blake, making that that massive jump up into intermediate contenders.
Okay, yes, he's a super player, so he is. I've seen him a couple of times now with Blake. Now I watched Blake there the other week, but they were decimated. There was a lot of boys on holidays, and the league was already on, so I never read a whole lot into it. But they have been going well, and they'll make it. They'll not make it, easy. But you think you would imagine Carrick-Cruppen just have that wee bit too much for them there, so they will.
Yeah, I think Carrick-Cruppen, just that wee bit of experience. I think that's going to be key in that one. And then obviously Clonard Seconds and Tullysarn, two teams very well too. Tell me, so you'll be able to judge them too, how they're going to go in this campaign.
Yeah, well, look, I think what Clonard Seconds have done has been amazing. To get up into intermediate, and even up on the last week, they were in the hunt there for promotion. However, I just think Tullysarn has some fantastic forwards there, and they've got themselves going. Kieran O's over them now. He's took over. It's been change of management after halfway through the season there. Kieran O's great lad. He played for them for years and years, and he always had a real good sharp brain. I recognised that with him when I was up there. We had it as a player, and when you talked to him, how eloquent he was and what way he spoke about it, I think he's got Tullysarn up and running reasonably well again. So I think for me, the experience that Tullysarn have at this year level, they've been semi-finalists there those last couple of years. I'm going to go for Tullysarn. Yeah,
I think that's probably it's maybe a step too far for Clonard Seconds. It's going to be a tough campaign for them, possibly. Tell me, but before we wrap up, who's going to top this group for you? I think I'm just going with Cruppen. I think Blaine's a massive miss in terms of them going on to win the championship, but to get out of the group, I think they just have that wee bit of experience that'll help them top the group.
I ain't going to disagree with you this time. I'm going to go just for the sake of it, because it's going to be with Blaine. Blaine's a massive loss for them, so I'm going to go for Tullysarn.
Tullysarn top group.
Just a bit different,
aye.
So,
well, We'll get
But
through
Jack
that.
Cup, and it's Jack. Just toss of a coin, like really.
We didn't agree on everything, so that's we changed it up a few times there, Tommy. Among the 8 groups of senior and intermediate, and of course there's junior action this week as well. And just as I'd mentioned, it's impossible for us to cover everything, and it's going to be the same over the next couple of weeks. With our preview shows and our review shows on either Friday or Monday, Sunday or Monday. It's just going to be impossible to cover everything, but we'll try our best, and we'll be covering everything with previews, with articles, interviews, podcasts, match reports, and everything else. It's as I said at the start of the show, Club Championship definitely my favourite time of year, but it's also my busiest time of year. But make sure to follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram, the Sideline A, and on YouTube and Spotify if that's where you get your podcast too, because we're the #1 spot for all club action. And we're going to be for the next, whatever, as long as it lasts here, the next 2 or 3 months. So Tommy, that's a wrap. Great to hear from you. Thanks for coming on, and we look forward to a good championship campaign for the senior and the intermediate.
Yeah, that's it. And it looks like you're going to be in the studio or the football field for the next 3 months. That's just by the way you're talking there, but no, and it's great. It's great just to see it getting up and running again this year. There's sometimes some of the group matches doesn't get us all excited up, but some of them matches this week will be really interested to see what way we go. And once we get them real knockout stages or the 3rd round of these here, like it really is great. And it's, for me, it's the highlight of the season. Like, really is. I love it. Can't wait for it to get going. But no, thanks for asking me on again, Sean. I'm sure it's speaking to you, sure, somewhere down the line. Those will be interested to see what way our predictions go for these groups.
Well, I'll keep a note of them, Tommy, and we'll check in whatever 3 or 4 weeks' time. We'll see how we're done. Good man. Cheers for coming on, Tommy. Cheers.
No problem. Bye.
Summit hurlings through. He might go for it. Still going. Trying to barge his way through. Goes to the flat. What a goal!
Arriving, Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score now we're looking for.
Connor Turbin kicks this one in. Oh, that's absolutely